Hey there everyone! Whenever the topic of pyramids pops up, it completely captures our imagination, doesn't it? That is exactly why I am excited to share a truly captivating story with you today. We have all heard about scientists excavating mummies from these ancient structures, unearthing bodies that are thousands of years old. These individuals were laid to rest with incredible care. Yet, in most cases, time has washed away the flesh, leaving behind nothing more than a bare skeleton. It makes you wonder, how can a human body possibly withstand the test of thousands of years without completely rotting away? Take a look at your screen for a moment. You are looking at the countenance of a man who appears to be peacefully asleep. If you take a closer look, you can actually spot a neatly trimmed beard and a bit of hair right next to his ears. Believe it or not, this is also a mummy. But wait. Didn't we just agree that ancient mummies typically decompose down to the bone? How is it possible that this specific man's face, complete with facial hair and stubble, remains perfectly intact? While his true birth name remains a mystery, he is widely known to the world as Tollund Man. History tells us he walked the earth roughly 400 years ago. Let's dive into the mystery of who Tollund Man really was, and uncover how his physical form managed to survive for over 2 millennia. Our journey begins in the year 2016 with a woman from abroad named Bethany Johnson. Growing up, she remembered that wherever her father traveled, he carried a glass jar containing a severed leg preserved in a blue liquid. Following his passing, this unusual jar and the rest of his estate were passed down to Bethany. That same year, a museum reached out to her in search of this exact specimen. It was then that Bethany discovered the leg belonged to an individual who lived 24 centuries ago. Remarkably, this incredible tale unfolded in Denmark, a highly developed and modern nation. The mystery officially began on May 8, 1950, when two brothers contacted the local police department in the Danish city of Silkeborg. They reported stumbling upon a corpse submerged in a muddy bog just outside the city limits. Initially, the siblings assumed they had found a local young boy who had gone missing a few days prior. However, after digging down about 2.5 meters into the earth, they realized this body was altogether different, and far from a typical modern casualty. Recognizing the anomaly, the police immediately looped in the archaeology experts at the Silkeborg Museum. Upon examining the site, the archaeologists realized that while similar discoveries had occurred in the past, this was the oldest corpse ever unearthed on Danish soil. What truly stunned them was just how remarkably fresh and well-preserved the body was, showing virtually no signs of decay. Subsequent laboratory testing confirmed that the individual had been interred 2,400 years ago, yet his internal organs remained flawlessly preserved and undamaged. The hair on his head, his facial features, his brain, and even the contents of his stomach were completely safe from the ravages of time. This preservation happened because the body was buried in a muddy environment rich in soft coal, scientifically referred to as a peat bog. In simple terms, peat consists of layers of leaves and organic debris that have accumulated and decayed in the soil over thousands of years. A bog is essentially this waterlogged, muddy terrain. These specific wetlands harbor a unique type of moss that generates a distinct acid known as bog acid. This particular acid, working in tandem with the muddy environment, completely strips the area of oxygen and eliminates destructive bacteria. Consequently, any organic matter trapped in these conditions can resist decay for thousands of years. The corpse discovered that Spring Day benefited from these exact environmental conditions. Because the site was located near a village called Tollund, the researchers named the ancient man after it. Much like the famous mummies extracted from Egyptian tombs, this discovery unlocked a treasure trove of historical insights. Tollund Man stood at a height of roughly 5.5 feet. Given the cap resting on his head and the belt cinched around his waist, experts deduced he had been buried fully clothed. However, a rope tightened around his neck suggested a grimmer fate. He was likely either murdered or executed as a form of punishment. Historically, both scientists and researchers have faced a severe lack of recorded evidence regarding European life prior to the rise of the Roman Empire. Yet, Tollund Man was found arranged in a serene, sleeping posture. This led experts to believe that while he met a tragic end, he certainly wasn't a despised criminal cast out by his community. Furthermore, as I mentioned earlier, historians and scientists previously could only guess at what the diets of people from this era looked like. That changed when they examined the stomach contents of this 2,400-year-old man. Researchers revealed that his very last meal was a porridge-like blend made up of 13 different types of grains. At the time of his passing, he was estimated to be between 35 and 40 years old. Data also indicated that he had journeyed a distance of roughly 30 kilometers in the final 6 months of his life. Because the historical researchers of the mid-20th century lacked the highly advanced technology we enjoy today, they chose to separate his head to preserve it, while sectioning the rest of his remains to send to various laboratories for specialized testing. Decades later, in 2015, an effort was made to reassemble Tollund Man's body, but the leg held by Bethany Johnson, along with several other pieces, was missing. Because of this, if you visit the Silkeborg Museum in Denmark today, only the head of Tollund Man is his actual, biological remains, while the torso and limbs are artificial reconstructions. Danish islands continued to yield similar ancient bodies all the way up until 2023. Each discovery has shed invaluable light on the evolution and lives of early humans. As our scientific tools and technologies continue to evolve, we will undoubtedly unlock even deeper secrets from our ancient past. That brings us to the end of today's exploration. If you found this story fascinating, please give this video a thumbs up and share it with your friends. If you haven't done so yet, make sure to hit that subscribe button and tap the bell icon right next to it so you never miss an update. Thank you so much for tuning in, and I will see you all in our next video.